Bellingwood Vignettes by Diane Greenwood Muir. Book 9, Vignette number 4, Boys Will Be Boys. Andrew tapped on Jason's bedroom door. "What?" his brother snapped. The two boys had separate rooms now that they'd moved into their new house, and privacy rules had been put in place. Neither could enter the other's room without knocking, no matter what. Jason was quite happy with the situation, but Andrew missed being able to talk to his brother. "Hey, can I talk to you?" Andrew asked. Jason huffed. "I guess." Andrew entered the room and looked around. Their mom had given both boys leeway when it came to decorating, and Jason was filling his walls with posters of video games, horses, and hot rods. "What's up, punk?" Jason asked after Andrew sat down on the bed. "Mom says you're not supposed to call me that." "Not call you what? Punk? You're a punk!" Jason leaped out of his chair, his face alight with laughter. He landed on top of Andrew, and when the younger boy put up his arms to fight his brother off, Jason turned and twisted until Andrew was upside down, his face buried in Jason's pillow and his arms locked behind his back. Padme jumped up on the bed and bounced back and forth as the boys wrestled. Once Andrew was helpless, she sat down on the pillow beside him and licked his face. As painful as it was, Andrew missed wrestling with Jason. He never won. Jason was always bigger, but in the last year he'd gotten stronger and more agile, too. "Uncle!" Andrew cried. "Uncle!" "Are you a punk?" Jason taunted. "I'm a punk. A slubberdy-gullion punk." Jason laughed and released his younger brother. "You're a what?" he asked. "What is that word?" He sat back down at his desk and handed Andrew a pencil and paper, then pushed hair out of his eyes. "Spell it." Andrew sat up, panting with exertion, and took the piece of paper. He wrote out the word and handed it to Jason. The dog nudged her head under his hand, and he wrapped his arm around her neck, rubbing her ears. "What does it mean?" "It's a rascal or a scoundrel," Andrew said. "It's a noun, though, and I made it into an adjective." Jason shook his head. "You and your words. I hope you're still writing stories when we're old, because you're going to have to take care of me and Mom." Andrew frowned. "You're going to make money. You're smart." "Not like you, punk." Jason nodded and tucked the piece of paper with a strange new word on it under his math book. "Don't you think Eliseo will take care of Mom?" Andrew asked in a low whisper. His mother wasn't home to hear him. She was still working at Sycamore House. "I don't know," Jason said. "Maybe someday. I know he likes her a lot, but it's okay with me if she doesn't get married again." "He's not like Dad," Andrew said. Jason sat straight up, and his mouth curled into a snarl. "Good thing." "We haven't seen him for a while. Do you think he went away?" "I don't know," Jason said. "Mom said she was going to take care of it, and I guess she did." "Did you get any more letters?" Jason shook his head. "Nope. And I would have returned them unopened. I hate him." "Me too," Andrew agreed. "But I like Eliseo." "I like him too, but we're fine here. All by ourselves. We don't need anybody else." Andrew wasn't going to remind his brother that all of the things that needed to be done around the house were done by Eliseo. Sometimes he was smart enough to just keep his mouth shut. Jason tapped his fingers on the pile of textbooks on his desk. "What did you want? I still have a pile of homework." "It's Rebecca," Andrew said with a sigh. "Your little girlfriend?" "She's not my girlfriend," Andrew snapped back. "She's a girl, and she's my friend." "So she's your girlfriend." Jason sang out, "Andrew and Rebecca sitting in a tree. Kissing." "Stop it!" Andrew jumped to his feet to leave the room, but Jason was too fast. He grabbed his brother's arm and pulled him back to the bed. "What about your girlfriend?" he asked. "I don't want to talk about it." Andrew dropped his face in a sulk. He really didn't want to talk about any of this with Jason now. It was too embarrassing. Go ahead. What's wrong?" Padme had lain down beside Andrew, but when he jumped up, she leaped to the floor, waiting for more action. When he settled on the edge of the bed again, she looked back and forth between the two brothers, and then jumped up and put her head on Andrew's lap. "Nothing's wrong," he said, bending over to kiss Padme's forehead. Don't be a wimp." "She's not my girlfriend." Jason pushed Andrew's shoulder to make him straighten back up. "So what if she is?" he asked. That was a new idea for Andrew. He was so used to being teased at school about his friendship with Rebecca that it had never really occurred to him to just let it be okay. "Yeah?" he asked. "Yeah, so what?" It was going to be easier to just spit it out. "Yeah, so what?" he said. "She wants me to dance with her at the Valentine's Day party at Sycamore House. She said that if her mom got to dance, she should too." Jason laughed loud enough to startle the dog. She sat up and looked at him, and then lay back down, nestling her head into Andrew's lap again. "See?" Andrew said. "It's embarrassing." "Yeah, punk, that's embarrassing. What are you going to do?" "I don't know how to dance." "So it's okay to dance with Rebecca if you know how? Why don't you ask Polly?" Andrew shook his head. "She's got enough to worry about. She doesn't need to teach me. And anyway, Rebecca and Kayla are always around." "Well, what do you want me to do about it? I don't know how to dance." "But you know everything." Jason pulled the piece of paper with a word written on it back out and said, "Obviously, I don't know everything." "But you know about this stuff." "Whatever. I've never danced with a girl either." "So what am I supposed to do?" Jason took a deep breath. "All I know is that you put your hands on her waist and she puts hers on your shoulders." "Show me?" Jason scooted his chair back and away from Andrew. "I am not dancing with you." "Oh, come on. It's just the two of us." "No way." "Please?" Jason let out a loud sigh, and he glared at his brother. "You've got to be kidding me." "Please?" Andrew pleaded. He puffed out another sigh and stood up. "Okay, fine. Just for a second. You're the girl, though." Andrew pointed at Jason's laptop. "Put some music on?" "No way. We're not dancing. I'm just going to show you how I see them hold each other." Andrew sat still on the bed and crossed his arms. "Please?" "You are totally a slubberdigullion punk," Jason said. He sat back down at the desk and found a music station. Then he stood up and beckoned for Andrew to join him. "The girl, that's you, puts her hands on my shoulders and I put my hands on her waist." Andrew did what Jason said and waited for his brother. Jason tentatively put his hands on Andrew's waist, holding him very lightly. "Now what?" Andrew asked. "I guess you just shuffle along, kind of with the music," Jason said. "Can we try it?" "If you tell anyone about this," Jason said, I will dig a deep, dark hole and drop you into it." "I'll never tell, I promise. This is bad for me, too," Andrew replied. The two brothers danced for a few moments, shuffling back and forth in front of Jason's desk. They'd started in the middle of a song, and when it ended, Jason gripped Andrew's waist tighter, picked him up, then tossed him on the bed and leaped on top of him again. Padme jumped up to join them, and before Jason could flip Andrew to his stomach, the younger boy cried, "Uncle! Uncle!"